Hey listeners, it's Paul Andriola here. Why not join our community at Small Cap Discoveries, where we offer our members direct access to some of the best microcap investment opportunities available. Our members are getting access to premium microcap financings, research reports, and direct access to management. Sign up today at www.smallcapdiscoveries.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Small Cap Discoveries conference call. Today on our call, we have CEO Mark Binns from BIGG Digital Assets. BIGG Digital Assets trades on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol BIGG and on the OTC under BBKCF. The company is trading at $1.30 with roughly 242 million shares outstanding, or about a $315 million market cap. I'd now like to hand it over to Paul Andriola.
Hey, thanks a lot, Trevor. So BIGG Digital Assets is a name that I'm not super familiar with. So certainly happy to have Mark here with us today to tell us all about the company. Mark, I'm just going to hand it over to you. You got a presentation. Why don't we dive into it, and then now we can follow up with some questions.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Trevor. And thanks for having me. I'm excited here to talk to everybody and run everybody through BIGG Digital Assets, our company, and what we're doing. What you're going to see today is an exciting investment opportunity. You're going to see a company that has fast-growing revenues. I mean, very fast-growing revenues in a traditional sense. Some really unique products that we actually sell both in Canada and globally, and some big catalysts coming up, which is any investor, you're looking for businesses with catalysts and opportunities for large gains. And I think we have all of those things to present to you today. BIGG Digital is a crypto company. So we call it compliance first crypto because the two main businesses we own and operate basically take advantage of regulated markets for crypto and compliance markets for crypto. And you'll see what that means once I get into it. But jumping over to the structure, here's what BIGG looks like. So the parent company, the public company, as you would have heard, trades in Canada under BIGG and in the States under BBKCF. We actually, instead of just being one operating business, we own two operating businesses. So you get a 2-for-1 with our company. One is Netcoins, which is actually a company that I've been with since number 2 person and CEO since early 2018. It's a crypto trading platform, operates exclusively in Canada right now, but we have international expansion coming very quickly, actually to the United States and then Europe a little bit later. And the other company is Blockchain Intelligence Group, run by Lance Morgan, co-founder of that business, and that's a crypto forensics business. That company sells software. It tracks the movement of crypto through the blockchain, and we sell it to law enforcement all over the world, including our biggest client is the US Secret Service. So anytime there's crime involved with crypto, police officers, law enforcement agents use our tools from Blockchain Intelligence Group to investigate and prosecute. So those are the two main businesses. We also have a number of minority investments. We've invested in WonderFi, which is a DeFi crypto brokerage business, essentially run by Ben Samaru. ZenLedger, crypto tax business run by Pat Larson. A company called Liquid, which is a Lightning Network business run by Sean Anstey, who is also a board member of BIGG. And then we recently invested in TerraZero with Dan Reitzik, which is a metaverse company. Really exciting stuff going on there right now with the crypto within the metaverse, the tokens, and the whole space. Those investments are for two things. One, for financial return. We started investing in WonderFi at 25 cents, and it now trades over $2.25 on the NEO. You know, Liquidity invested at 35 cents plus warrants. It's now trading at somewhere around 50 cents, I believe. It trades on the venture, I think. And ZenLedger and TerraZero are still private companies, but they also have amazing backers. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is behind WonderFi, so we have a great relationship there. ZenLedger has Mark Cuban as one of the main backers. So we're quick phone calls away from some deep-pocketed people and relationships that are valuable for us to leverage for our main businesses, both Netcoins and Blockchain Intelligence Group. So I'm going to walk you through the two businesses in a second with a bit of detail, but a couple more things about, why BIGG Digital. First of all, the whole crypto world is going towards regulation and compliance, just like the traditional stock market. I always say it's laughable to think you'd ever go to a non-licensed stockbroker and buy Apple stock. The exact same thing is happening in crypto. Canada is now regulating all crypto trading platforms and exchanges, and we're actually one of the very first licensed crypto trading platforms in Canada with Netcoins. And Blockchain Intelligence Group Every time I hear someone in the US government talking about controlling crypto, they need the tools that we make in order to understand what's happening in the world of crypto. So, we highly support a future of regulated and compliant operations for crypto, and our businesses are set up for it. We also see as wider adoption of crypto happens, both of our businesses benefit. There'll be more trading at Netcoins, and more people will need more law enforcement agents the world over are going to need help reining in crime tied to it. We also have an extremely good balance sheet. So we have more than $70 million in cash and crypto on our balance sheet. We have no debt. We have significant revenue I'm going to show you in a minute. And we also own 500 Bitcoins of our very own that are in our treasury, worth somewhere around 35 million Canadian right now. And those have been excellent investments and continue to rise. The other things is there's lots of catalysts coming up, just keeping this to the point. We're going to be launching new products inside of Netcoins. They'll talk about, we have a Netcoins credit card coming up called Netcoins Pay, other strategic investments, yield offerings. There's all sorts of exciting stuff here. So, from a really high level, you got a great business, fast growing revenues, cash in the bank, crypto on balance sheet, no debt, and catalyst rich future coming in front of you. From a trading snapshot, we also have 4 different companies that do research coverage on us: FRC, PI Financial, Singular, and HC Wainwright. The average price target is $2.87 Canadian. As Paul mentioned, we closed today at $1.30 Canadian. So, there's more than a 2x from the current price to the consensus target price or average price of $2.87. These are the pros that have looked at the comps in the market for our products. They've looked at our revenue stream. They've done, the 30-page report, and this is the numbers they've come up with, which are advising a lot of indexes and institutions to buy our stock. So if you're sitting there at retail, they've already done the hard work for you, and you can follow their plan. And to that note, there's 2 new Invesco funds that have actually just been created, and they name Big Digital Assets their top holding within those funds. One's called the Crypto Economy ETF, and the other one's called the Decentralized Commerce ETF. And Big, they weighted very significantly on each of these at 4.66% and 2% top weightings. What I love most about this is Invesco has started with these funds as small $5 million funds. Now they put their sales team on it, which means they go out and they sell this to all the independent banks and brokerages out there to actually push these ETFs to their customers. And as they grow from $5 million ETFs to 50 million to 500 million, which is very common at Invesco, they have to keep buying our stock to maintain the weighting. So we see very significant institutional acquisition of big stock happening now on a daily basis. We also just got added to the BlockShares crypto index in Europe. And there is a lot of funds that follow that index. We know for a fact there's a $2 billion fund, a $1 billion fund, a couple different $500 million funds. And because we were just added with a weighting and an index beside the Samsungs and NVIDIAs of the world, now they're buying our stock too, and will continue to accumulate day in, day out, week in, week out, until they reach their proper weightings inside of their funds that follow that, that index. So we've grown well beyond, the startup retail stock world, and we're into institutional buying and involvement. And here's why. So this is the revenue curve for Big over the past sort of 3 years. 2019, we did a little over $500,000 in revenue. 2020, we did almost 5x that to $2.5 million. And in 2021, we're already at 10.8 million, and we still have a whole quarter to go. So this is just the first 3 quarters of revenue, which are up, over 4x last year. And by the time we're done this year, we expect that to be somewhere probably between 14 and 16 million in total revenue. So very significant growth curve. Business is strong and accelerating. The team, really quickly, you're investing in people. My whole background is sales and marketing. I actually have an undergrad degree in computer science, so I understand the tech. But then I've always taken tech and tried to marry it with markets and with product and sales strategies to grow and scale businesses. I've won a number of awards personally for scaling high growth businesses from Profit Magazine and other sources. And that's what we're doing right here at Big now. Kim Evans is our CFO, absolute rock star CFO. She's got great cross-border experience. We're listed in Canada and the States and Germany. So the right person helping us continue to grow our public market experience in those markets, or exposure in those markets, I guess I should say. Plus, we're planning a number of uplistings, both on the Canadian side to the TSX and in the US side to the NASDAQ. And Kim knows how to help us get that done. Lance is an entrepreneur. First and foremost, he's a business builder, and he's actually the co-founder of the Blockchain Intelligence Group business. He knows more about blockchain than most people on the planet and has done a great job building that business to, again, where it's used by governments and agencies all over the world to track crypto crime. And then finally, Kim Dwyer, she's fairly new to us from CIBC, which is one of the biggest banks in Canada, and her whole expertise is in scaling digital products. And I brought her in essentially to operate Netcoins on a day-to-day basis because she has an amazing background in doing exactly that for large bank products that hit, first hundreds of thousands and then millions of users. So we got a great leader with Kim on the team now as well. Netcoins, it's a crypto brokerage business. So, we're selling Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash to customers all over Canada. We really win on having an easy to use platform, very straightforward, amazing customer support. We have a large team in Canada that you can call, talk to on the phone about, any challenges you're having, instant email support. We have live web support. You can do live chat, and we're bringing new people into crypto every single day. And those people come in and they love Netcoins and they refer it to their friends because they understand it. It's easy to use. You can deposit cash and have it in your account within 5 minutes from your traditional bank account just by emailing it in. And we just received our crypto trading platform license. It's called a restricted dealer license in Canada. We're actually the first public company in Canada to get a license for a crypto trading platform. And what that means is the government, the CSA, which is the Canadian SEC equivalent, has looked at the platform and has determined that we're doing everything right in terms of basically onboarding customers, anti-money laundering, technology, fair trade execution, fair pricing, storage of the crypto, cold storage, offline, insurance for our crypto. We also have all customer fiat currency held in trust. Everything is safe and buttoned down and received the check mark. And the BC Securities Commission and the OSC stepped up right at the end of September and said, okay, here's your license. You're legal. And we've been operating all along, of course, but we are very pro-regulation, as we said, and making the world of crypto a safer and better place for investors. And now that is doing tremendously good things for our business. It's bringing in a lot of customers that want to trade at a licensed platform that they know has been reviewed by regulators. Corporations are coming in and buying Bitcoin for their balance sheets, and they want to do it from licensed regulated platforms. We're getting those customers. And we're now able to launch what I would call platform as a service. So other companies that want to offer crypto trading to their customer base, we can do it for them as a white labeled solution because we have a license with the CSA. We're talking to credit unions, we're talking to banks, we're talking to wallet providers in the digital space. And we're getting close, I think, to launching or announcing some of our first platform as a service customers where we're actually doing all the crypto work and maintaining the license, but it's their customer base that they're bringing us to, which drives revenue for us and for them. One final thing about the license, it also gives us access to markets that other competitors don't have access to for advertising. Bell Media won't let unlicensed crypto platforms advertise. We can now advertise on them, and we can run ads on NFL football that other people can't. And you would have seen that last night if you're watching TV in Canada, for example. We also have access to Google through search engine marketing that non-licensed platforms can't use. So it's really helping us get exposure out there and grow our customer base. The revenue growth is on an amazing curve. Q3 is the last quarter we finished. I mean, you can see numbers in here that range from 155% to 400% year-over-year growth in everything from revenues to trading volume to active users. And down the left side, again, you can see the jump in the revenue curve from year over year. And this is only with 3 quarters of the way through this year. The revenue's up 7x or something, 6x what it was the previous year. So very significant acceleration in the platform. We do a complete flywheel of marketing. We're out of home, we're in digital, we're in print, we're in social media. We do a ton of TV and we do a ton of radio. And one of the biggest things you don't see here is our referral base is fantastic because customers come, use Netcoins. Again, it's easy to use. They get great support. They have a wide range of coins they can trade. And then they refer their friends in and they refer their family. So we see tons of referral business coming in as well. The next company is called Blockchain Intelligence Group. So it's the other half of our business. Again, it is all about bringing accountability to the space and security. So we make products that we sell essentially to law enforcement for the most part to track and monitor crypto transactions. The main product is Clue. That's what I'm going to talk about today. That's the one that's in market, that's doing really well. Don't worry about trying to like squint and see the picture, but what's happening here is that crypto is moving from one wallet to another wallet to another wallet. And that's just an example of our user interface showing that. The kind of use case is if someone stole your crypto and you reported to the police and you lost, $100,000 worth of Bitcoin, they could take your wallet address, type it into Clue and say, this is the wallet where it was stolen from. And then Clue would unpack and the blockchain and show you the movement of that crypto through every wallet it touched, where it went. It might go around the world 3 times. And then it will say it's ended up in these 4 different wallets at Coinbase, for example. And here's the IDs of these wallets. And then the police force or the police officer can call up Coinbase, issue a subpoena and say, freeze the coins in those wallets. We believe they're proceeds of crime. They might end up getting a warrant for the arrest of the wallet owners. There could be a trial, could go to court. And then Clue is used often in court as basically expert witness testimony or technology showing that we have proven that these were the coins that were stolen. Because remember, it's all in the blockchain and the blockchain doesn't lie. The blockchain is anonymous until Clue came in. And what we've done is we've risk scored and put attributions on 3.5 billion data points across, I believe now it's 8 different blockchains. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, and every Ethereum token created, and there's more than 300,000 of them, are supported by Clue. Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, BSV, Stellar, Lumens, all of these blockchains are supported by Clue. So any crime that touches those blockchains, we can uncover what's going on. And again, we're not police officers. That's not our job. Our job is to make great tech that we sell essentially to police officers around the world to do their job. And as crypto becomes more and more mainstream, the need for these products becomes more and more because there's more and more crime and more cases going to police officers every day. Another thing we do in this business is we train law enforcement, and we have courses called Certified Cryptocurrency Investigator courses. And here's some logos of companies and people from these companies that have taken this training. And we're not as, it's an 8-hour online course. It costs $1,000. For us, it's not about the revenue. It's about educating the sector and teaching them how to do crypto investigation. But while we're teaching them, we're showing them our tools. We show them Clue and how Clue works and how Clue is used to do in crime investigations. And then when they're done, they'll often say, oh, I need to have a license to Clue now so I can actually do my job now that I know how I can investigate crime. And let's say I'm a police officer for the financial crimes unit of the Houston Police Department. Now they need to buy a license so they can actually do their job with the crimes that come to them. So pretty cool course. And the last thing I'm going to say about this company is that it's very rare and unique technology. So there's only really 4 companies in the world that build this kind of technology. Ourselves, which is Clue, Chainalysis, CipherTrace, and Elliptic. And the valuations, because the tech is so hard to build. Again, we've put about $25 million into Clue, been building it for probably almost 7 years now, and it has 3.5 billion data points in it that are mapping out these blockchains and bringing sense to them when they're traditionally anonymous, but we give them attributions and we can tell you where wallets exist, what exchanges they're at, what's happening. That's the value. That's collected through artificial intelligence, crypto address scraping, a whole bunch of different ways we get it, but to build it all up would be very hard. So there's been no new entries into this space in terms of competitors for quite some time. And Chainalysis just raised money at a $4 billion pre-money valuation. CipherTrace was just sold to MasterCard about 2 months ago. We believe that transaction was in the range of $250 to $500 million. And Clue, frankly, is a better product with more data and probably a better graphing engine, we call it, that actually shows the blockchains and how to walk through them. We believe we'll see Visa, Amex, Bank of America, other international banks and agencies will be looking for these kind of tools. And MasterCard bought them because it was easier than trying to build it. We believe that Clue is probably worth at least as much as the entire market cap of big digital assets, just on its own as a piece of technology. Forget about any revenue attached to it. And Elliptic, finally, I think they raised another $30 million at a significant valuation recently. I don't know if the valuation was published because I think it was a private VC deal, but in the space, very unique tech, very limited number of options for buyers in the space. So we love it and what Clue brings to us. I talked about the minority investments earlier. You can see what they are there, but for us, it's about making some money on them, of course, staying close to the different aspects of what's going on in the crypto world and the relationships to these companies and their investor communities. Because when TerraZero talks about BIGG, all the people that are already following TerraZero now have an opportunity to go invest in BIGG and learn about BIGG. So it's great for us to put money into these businesses to give us financial returns, but it also brings more eyeballs and investors to BIGG Digital Assets, which again is good for all of us as owners of the stock and investors in BIGG. Last couple of things. We are working hard this year to get our regulatory license. Again, huge breakthrough, both for Canadian crypto in general and for Netcoins and BIGG. That's done. We announced KPMG as an auditor. Most people don't talk about auditors in presentations, but the fact that we now have one of the big four accounting firms as our auditor is amazing. They have bench strength to both finish complex financial audits that are tied to crypto, but also for deals and investments we want to do. We have, we have the big, powerful company of KPMG behind us. We launched trading apps. We're going into the States in Q1. We were hoping to get out there in December. It'll probably slip into January, but we're going through all the legal steps and the banking steps right now and setting up a proper liquidity provider rails. And we'll be launching in the States very soon. We're also launching new products for Netcoins. I mentioned it briefly earlier, Netcoins Pay. You're going to have a card where you can walk into any grocery store, gas station, sports equipment store, whatever, pay with your Netcoins card, and you're going to get crypto back. So instead of the traditional like cashback cards or reward cards, we're going to pay you in Bitcoin. And then we'll probably give you options for other cryptos down the road. But I think we're going to start with Bitcoin, and pretty amazing that you can buy your groceries and then get a little bit of Bitcoin, and you can just leave it in your Netcoins account and let it accumulate in value. And then finally, we're going to keep looking at other strategic investments in the space, just like the four you've seen. If we see more, we'll step up. And if we see wholly owned businesses that we think add value to our shareholder base and our company, we'll look at those as well. But overall, that's the whole story. So we'll turn it back over for questions. I also have my email address on there, mark@bigdigitalassets.com. And you can also email ir@bigdigitalassets.com at any time. And we're pretty attentive. We'll be happy to get back to you with questions if they don't get answered today, or they come to you at a later time. All
Fantastic.
right.
Mark, thank you so much. I want to remind everybody, if you do have questions, and I see there's a few already lined up, but if you've got some questions you want me to ask Mark, just use the chat function and I'll do my best to get them answered. Mark, yeah, obviously significant revenue increase. Why don't we dive right into that and really get an understanding what's been happening over the last couple of years? What's driving that revenue growth for you guys?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that are going on. Number one, the crypto markets continue to become more mainstream, right? So just more of the population is getting into crypto. They're hearing about it. They're deciding to make their first $20 investment, and then their first $500 investment in crypto. And that's part of it. So just more people coming out of traditional finance world into the crypto world. And then our products. So we built an amazing product that's easy to use, has great support, and people are showing up and they're going, oh, this is way easier. I thought it was going to be complex. I thought I was going to have to, understand the blockchain and understand wallets and storage and stuff. And with Netcoins, it's all built in. You get a wallet automatically with your Netcoins account. You show up, you sign up. And again, within 5 minutes, you can email money to your friend. You can email money to Netcoins. You have money inside. You can buy and sell crypto. So that has been a part of it, as well as having a great product. And then it's been exposure. We've been out there, aggressively advertising across everything from radio to television to social, and letting people know that we're there, because, we think we can help Canadians so far, and soon it'll be in the States as well, but with their financial options, I guess you would say, with crypto products. And we're letting them know that we're there and we're a good option for them, and they're coming in. And the other thing is that they're referring in a lot of friends. As I said, we see just an absolute ton of referrals to the business, and that drives the revenue, all of those things. And I guess one last thing I should say is volatility also drives revenue. So When Bitcoin has a day where it goes from 55,000 US a coin to 48,000 US a coin, like happened, I think it was Saturday night, there was a big drop. Our volumes spike. People come running in to buy the dip, and people come running in and in panic to sell their coins before they lose all their value. So we see panic selling, we see panic buying, we see just tons of volatility and trading based on that volatility. And trading is how we make money. Every time somebody trades crypto, we take our fee, and that drives our revenues. So it's those things all coming together.
So clearly, it's all about volume. The more volume you see, the more transactions, and hence the more commission on the transactions, correct?
Correct. Yep. It is literally all about volume. More trading means more commission, and that's how we make our money.
Now, I've got a question, and you touched on it a little bit. I want to be clear. So Netcoins right now, is it just in Canada? Is it just available in Canada?
That's correct. We're only available in Canada right now.
And the idea is to at some point move to the US and have a marketplace there as well.
Yeah, we fully intend to launch in the US in Q1. In fact, we hope to be launching in January. We have an MSB license and a corporation in the States already. We have our legal opinion on which states we can operate in right away, and which ones might require more discussion with government. Everything's all set up, just putting the last touches on it, and we'll be launched in the States, which is a 10x market to Canada, and it doesn't require any change in our platform. So it's just basically the legal side of it, and turning on a US address is allowed to sign up, versus right now if you sign up with a US address, it says, thanks, but we're not available in your area and we'll get back to you soon. Instead, it'll say welcome to Netcoins, and we'll be off and running. So it could do tremendous things for our volume and our business in the new year.
Now, are you guys is it just Bitcoin?
No, we trade 9 different coins now. And we are going to continue to aggressively add coins so people have more access depending on what they like to trade. So we have all the majors: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Stellar. We recently added EOS and Algo. We have stable coins as well, like USDC. And you're going to see a lot more coins coming from us again throughout the early part of next year.
So you mentioned, I think, 4 investments, and clearly you're on the lookout for other investments, but give us a sense, when you invest in these companies, typically what's the size and what's sort of the longer term plan with these investments you're making?
Yeah, I mean, we've been investing somewhere between $100,000 and $250,000 into these investments. So not big in a relative sense to our company. They are minority investments. I wouldn't classify them as majority investments, but they give us a foothold into those companies and a view to what they're doing. And if we wanted to take larger stakes or buy out any of those companies, that would be a potential avenue for us. Right now, the intention is to make minority investments that allow good financial returns and stay connected to those different components of the crypto ecosystem that we're not in, right? So we're not doing crypto tax software, but our customer base at Netcoins wants to know about crypto taxes and how to pay crypto taxes. And we can say, hey, we got a minority investment in a partner business, have a look at those products. And we can access those companies for help on the other side, which often is like investor audiences, et cetera. So when Zen Ledger in that example talks about their investment and their growth of their business, they talk about big digital assets. So they're out there spreading the word for us about big digital assets just by us being invested, which is definitely to the benefit of our shareholders. So sort of mutual wins by investing in these businesses.
Okay, so now you mentioned you've got 500 Bitcoin sort of on the balance sheet.
Yep.
You got no debt. How much cash do you have? I think you mentioned it. I just can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it jumps around, but it's somewhere around 75 million in cash, including the Bitcoin. So if you backed out 35 million in Bitcoin, that means there's about 40 million in Canadian and USD cash.
And as investors, how do we look at how do you plan to spend that money? What are you going to do with that cash?
We are using it aggressively to invest in marketing and expansion of the 2 businesses. So that is by far and away the primary use of that cash, is to have more advertising and more marketing and making sure our brands get out there and the businesses that we're operating become leaders in their space. They already are, but we're going to the US with Netcoins. We're going to want money to advertise. So that's what the use of the capital is for.
Do you guys ever trade your Bitcoin? Do you ever think, in the short term it's a little too expensive, or the short term it's too inexpensive, and you buy it and trade it? Do you do that?
We tend not to, because it's very, very hard to time a market. And, we fundamentally believe, we're crypto maximalists. We fundamentally believe that the value of this Bitcoin will be worth more in the future than it is today. And the future might be a nebulous, it might be 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, but we're not in any hurry to sell any of it. And, we've been buying aggressively since 6, 7, 8,000 US a coin. And, again, now it's over 50,000 US a coin. And it's been as high as 68,000 US a coin just recently. We believe it's going to be worth way over $100,000 a coin at some point next year. Could be as early as Q1, some of us believe. So to try to time it because it gets top heavy and then rebuy it, I'm more scared we'd miss the run, the continued growth and valuation. I think we're only at the second inning of crypto. So no, generally we buy and hold, and we just always added, if anything.
So, you've got 2 operating companies. Any other M&A? You're looking at potentially buying another operating business, or is it likely to just be with what you have and the odd smaller investment?
We're open to the idea. It has to be a good fit. We need to find a company that we thought the price was fair. It had good operators. It had good revenue and revenue acceleration. We don't want to buy a project. So, a beat up company that doesn't have revenue, or it doesn't have an obvious path, or doesn't have product market fit. So, we'd be looking for something that obviously has fit with its products in the market, has a team that is in place that would, stay in place. Because again, we don't want to buy a company and have all the top guys leave, and then we have a problem, right? Because we want to buy it as a wholly owned subsidiary that keeps on running if we do. So we are open to it. We're keeping our eyes out for any opportunities, and, never say never. But in the meantime, we're definitely focused on growing our 2 wholly owned businesses.
And if, again, as investors, if we're looking at the business, where do you see the greatest growth opportunities within what you have right now?
Netcoins for sure is going to be the greatest revenue growth. We expect to continue growing revenue aggressively in that business, acquiring more customers, entering the US, which is a 10x market from where we are now. The value on Blockchain Intelligence Group side, we expect revenue growth, but we don't expect the dollars to come as fast, because it's a enterprise software sale, which doesn't grow as fast as a marketing company, which Netcoins is all growth by marketing. But the technology value we think will continue to grow very aggressively. So from a contribution to market cap, I think they'll probably be similar, but in a contribution to top line revenue, I expect Netcoins will outpace the other operating business.
Let's talk about the stock a little bit. 242 million shares outstanding. Maybe give us a breakdown of who the shareholders are. What percentage does management own, and maybe give us some color on who else is a shareholder of the company.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, management owns more than 10% of the shares. So, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's more than 24 million. It's cross management and directors. And, it's a significant investment. That's give or take, $30 million of our own money in the business. So it shows that, we're very obviously committed. We've been here a long time. Lance, Kim, myself have all been here since 2017 or early 2018 in the business and running it. So, 4 or 5 years plus of our personal time invested in these businesses. So, we're committed and have a significant stake. Now, next, I would say retail owns by far and away the majority of the stock. We have a very large US retail following currently, and Canadian. So it's a lot of guys owning anywhere from, their $5,000 to their maybe 50 or a couple $100,000 worth of stock. And then it's institutions. And what we're seeing now is that's what's the growing part of the shareholder base. Being added to these Invesco funds, as an example, these ETFs means that Invesco is starting to take down significant positions. And our block shares index in Europe that we were recently added to at the end of October means there's now a whole bunch of funds that are starting to buy it. And then they don't report immediately. They report, sort of a couple months later, their fund holdings. And, I'm the same as anyone else. I'm starting to see our name pop up as a holding in funds that I've never even heard of. because these funds are buying based on indexes they follow, and getting added to the block shares index was a big one. So it's an evolving scene, I guess you'd say, but we're getting a lot more institutional buying now, which is great because it adds stability into the stock as well. Even though everything in crypto is very volatile by nature, but it's nice to see steady institutional buying of our stock now.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of the institutions clearly make noise around their entrance into anything blockchain, Bitcoin related lately.
Yeah.
So Netcoin, I mean, you're thinking of going into the US. How competitive is that landscape for Netcoins?
Yeah, we are going into the US. There's no doubt about it. And it is, it's competitive, but it's fragmented. That's what I love about it. So the US, I mean, I don't know, I bet there's a couple hundred plus different ways or companies that you can buy crypto from in any given state in the US. But it's very fragmented, which leaves a lot of room for a new entrant to come in with a good solid offering, easy to use platform, and good marketing that's already been proven in another market. So with Netcoins in Canada, we know exactly how to acquire customers. We can literally use the same copy, literally the same TV ads, the same everything in the States. And we know when people see them, they will come. You know, last night we had ads running on the NFL, NHL, CFL, like 3 different pro sports leagues in Canada on TV. And we had a banner day of signups through television. And I know that if we have the same ad running on an NFL game on, CBS in the States or whatever network they might be playing on, people will see it, they will come, they will sign up, they'll deposit money, and we'll have customers and revenue. So the fragmentation is what makes it possible. We have technology the same as anyone else. There's no high barriers to entry for a crypto trading company to join the market in the States and immediately generate revenue.
And I imagine you measure these metrics, but give me a sense if you can, like what does the average person per year, how many trades does he generate, or what kind of commission does he generate? I have no clue how active, these kind of traders are.
It ranges wildly, right? So there's no easy way to answer the question, because there's some people that hodl, right? So they'll buy $10,000 worth of Bitcoin in February and they won't touch it again for the rest of the year, right? Then there's the people that are steady accumulators that never sell, but they'll always buy, and they buy every dip. So, they might trade once a month, but the trade is always a buy side and they're just accumulating a position. Then you got swing traders, technical traders, day traders, you get all these guys. So it ranges very broadly. We can say that it costs us between $50 and $100 to acquire a verified customer into the platform. And we see the lifetime value of a customer continues to rise every time we pull the data, because they tend to come and stay. And then over a longer period of time, their lifetime value is going up because they're trading more. But it's in the, many, many hundreds of dollars and rising significantly. So we know that all we got to do is add money, add marketing, bring in more of the customers, as long as we can keep that formula intact, that cost formula intact, and you can build a very big company. There's a great venture capitalist named Boris Wertz who likes to say, if you can find lifetime value of a customer greater than their customer acquisition costs, just keep adding money until the formula breaks, and that's how you build billion-dollar companies. And that's what we're working on doing every day right now.
For sure. Mark, what's your greatest challenge in your business?
Acquiring great people is always a challenge. The blockchain engineers, crypto engineers, we're growing quickly. We have a lot of projects we want to do, a lot of exciting things we want to do. I have marketing ideas every day that I want to add to the product, but they need technical implementation. To do that, you need software engineers. So the space is growing fast, and the amount of people servicing it, both from a technical aspect, but also even a marketing aspect, a financial services aspect, is challenging. So we continue to hunt for great people and add them to the team to keep up with our growth. That'd be the thing that I think about the most, is how do we get the right people on the bus, keep the people on the bus happy, and keep going forward.
Speaking of going forward, 5 years from now, where do you see a business like this? What does it look like?
Yeah, well, 5 years is such a long time, right? In crypto, I mean, we might be, a mainnet in 5 years. Bitcoin and crypto are only, 10, 11, 12 years old. So the 3-year plan is always a long time in crypto, and 1 year is probably realistic. But where I see us going, I see us with Netcoins having operation in lots of different countries and continents around the world, right? I want us to be not just a trading platform either, but a centralized banking opportunity or crypto opportunities. So you start out with trading. We're going to be adding cards for basically leveraged debit and credit payments. We're going to be adding staking, things that are tied around savings. In Canada, it's hard to do right now because of where the regulatory framework exists, but we'd love to offer interest to our customers on the coins they keep on the platform. And you can think about it, it all just starts sounding like a bank, right? And what I think is happening is that the crypto companies are slowly becoming full service banks, whereas the banks are ignoring or hating crypto, and they're going to get disintermediated. I wrote an article for Cointelegraph not long ago that said, look out, big banks, because the crypto companies are going to eat your lunch. Soon you're going to have checking, savings, Bitcoin, Litecoin, all in the same online banking platform side by side. And people won't see them as two different things. They'll see them as, financial assets that they own, and they want the ability to move between them quickly. And if the banks don't move in that direction, I can assure you the crypto companies are moving in that direction. So I'd like to see Netcoins become a full service stopping platform for all types of financial service banking. And on the other side, with Blockchain Intelligence Group, Clue is going to become, one of the main products in the world for doing crime investigations around crypto. And the more Vision A comes into effect, where crypto becomes an everyday part of your life and your usage, it'll also be tied into all sorts of financial crimes as well. Unfortunately, it just will be, just like fiat currency is. And we want to have the products there to help keep the infrastructure and the system, the world safe, right? And keep people using crypto because they trust it and they know there's rule of law around it.
Yeah, for sure. From an investor standpoint, now, what metrics? Now, it's easy to follow revenues. I mean, that's an obvious one. But what kind of metrics or catalysts should investors sort of watch out for, just to be sure that you guys are executing your business plan?
Yeah, I mean, we published, I would encourage you to read our typical news releases, look at our investor deck, which you can find at bigdigitalassets.com. We report on Netcoins, things like trading volume, active users on the platform, or monthly or quarterly active users. You want to know how many people are there, how much are they trading, how much revenue are they generating, those sort of things. So that really is what drives that business. On the Blockchain Intelligence Group side, watch for us to be adding more blockchains. Because as we add more blockchains, the product becomes more valuable to the customer base that it's serving. Because if someone is doing crime in Bitcoin and we have that blockchain available, great, they can track it. But if they do it in coin XYZ that we don't support, then you can't use our tool to track it. So watch for us to continue to add blockchains, brand name customers. Obviously, at the end of the day, it always comes back to revenue. If you see us executing and revenue growing, you know that you're on something that's a good business. Continue to watch for those sort of metrics and look at our investments in product launches. If we keep launching products that have revenue streams attached in particular, you're onto something good.
Mark, we've come to the end here. What we always like to let you guys do here is sort of leave with a parting message or a key takeaway that you want everybody to understand about the business that we may or may not have touched on. So what would that key message be?
The key message is it's a work in progress. I think I would say, we have a great company that's come so far. We talked all about it today, but there's so much more that we're going to do and so much more that we're going to grow this business from here. Both, we talked about international expansion of Netcoins, new products coming out, growth of Blockchain Intelligence Group. In the last year, the company has grown, probably, 20, 30, at least 30x. Probably in terms of stock price and in terms of revenue. What happens on any given day, I wouldn't be too fussed about from a public markets point of view. Look at the big picture, look where we're going. Think about what, BIGG can be in 2, 3, 5 years. That's where the real investment opportunity is, not on a day trade view of things. And the other part of that is when Bitcoin has a really bad day or crypto has a bad day in terms of price, we're usually making more money than ever. Because volatility is up and trading is up at Netcoins. So on the days when Bitcoin goes down, that's the day people should actually be buying our stock So keep in mind, again, we're agnostic essentially to the underlying price of the assets, and we're a picks and shovels operation. We make money every day, no matter which direction the price of crypto moves. And we're going to keep doing that for the years to come.
Fantastic way to sum it up. Mark, if somebody wants more information, you've got you've got your email address there and website address. What's a good website address
BigDigitalAssets.com. You can go to that website. There's a great presentation I did with Victoria, our IR team, on there. Other information about the two wholly owned businesses. So yeah, BigDigitalAssets.com. Investor decks are on there. One pagers are on there. Lots of great information. All our financials are on CDAR, of course, because we are a public company. So you can look them all up and read them to your leisure.
Fantastic. So we've been speaking with CEO Mark Binns of BIGG Digital Assets, symbols BIGG on the CSE. Mark, I really want to thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's great to be here. Thanks very much for having me, Paul and Trevor.
Thanks a lot.